Welcome to another episode of the Evo India podcast. And today we're talking about something really interesting. We're talking about the Kia EV6, specifically why it won the ICOTY Green Car of the Year award.
Well, the Kia EV6 actually is a very interesting car and it is Kia's first electric car. But before we deep dive into it, Aatish, tell us, how does ICOTY function? On what basis are the cars awarded and how does the ICOTY go about it?
Yeah, so with me in the studio today is Rohin. I think this is the first time you're on the podcast, right?
Yep, that's the first time.
Rohin's on the podcast for the first time. Say hi, be nice. But sure. So let me explain what ICOTY is all about. ICOTY is essentially an award in the automotive sector, awarded to cars, to products specifically. And it's a group of journalists from various partner publications who are partners with ICOTY. They come together. Each publication nominates two of its journalists to be on the jury. And these journalists come together. There's a jury round where we drive and ride all of the cars and motorcycles that are on the awards for that year. And then we get a scorecard. We have to score our top 5 cars. The scoring is really interesting. It's actually, you get a total of 25 points and then you have to distribute it amongst your winners, scoring no less than 5 cars. So you can't give one car 25 points. You have to spread 25 points across 5 cars or more, and then obviously that will have some sort of ranking for you. And everybody does this. And then these score sheets are submitted, they're sealed. Only knowledge partner, this year it was Deloitte, who was our knowledge partner. They have access to these sheets. They do the tally, all of that. And then finally on awards night, that's on the stage is where the envelopes open and we find out who the winner is. So that's ICOTY. It's essentially an award, but it is a prestigious award because it's a number of publications coming together to give an award, not just one single publication, And the Green Car of the Year is a relatively new concept. It's obviously, since electric cars and hybrids have picked up steam, the Green Car of the Year award is to award this category of car, that are taking this approach to mobility, an award. So there were a number of contestants or participants in the contenders, actually, that would be the right word, in the award this year. And the EV6 did come out of top.
So it's safe to say that the awards night is a heart in the mouth kind of moment for the manufacturers
100%,
till the time
100%.
The envelope opens up and the shit comes out, or the name comes out and it's announced.
100%. It's always heart in the mouth, and the manufacturers are constantly calling us before the awards saying, listen, tell na who's winning, tell na. But we don't even know because the score sheets aren't with us. Like, I know what I scored, right? Yeah, but I don't know what everybody else scored. And the winner is actually calculated with a tally of everyone's scores. Only the consulting firm that is partnering with us that year knows who the winner is till the last moment. So yeah, it's really heart and mouth. And it's really exciting actually, because even we don't know till we're on stage and we're like, who's going to win? Even we don't know. Sometimes you'll see reactions on the jury's faces also, because they're like, oh, this one won, It's that kind of thing, down to the last moment.
I think I saw a few clips where you were on stage. Hosting the ceremony, I think.
Yes, so ICOTY. Yeah, all of the jury members, it's our thing, right? So we host it together. JK Tyre is the title sponsor.
So who's who of the industry all together in one hall having a gala time and, giving out awards to the best cars in each segment?
Yeah, not everyone has a gala time because some guys don't get awards.
Of course.
But yes. Essentially,
ICOTY sounds fun.
Yeah,
that's nice. So coming to the Kia EV6, what makes it stand out among its competitors or its competition? What do you think about it?
So the Kia EV6, I think what really sets it apart from the competition, and you need to understand that the ICOTY 23 contenders are actually cars launched in 22. Yeah, so. The Kia EV6, what really stood out about it to me was its platform. It's a born electric platform. It's a dedicated electric platform. This is not a stopgap. This is not a car that's been, it's an ICE car that some manufacturers ripped out the engine from, stuffed in a few batteries, put in a motor and said, hey, electric car.
They've put in a thought behind the car.
It was born as an electric car. It's only an electric. There's no ICE EV6, right? There's no petrol diesel EV6. It was from its very design. It was born to be an electric car, and that gives it a long number of inherent advantages. The platform is a skateboard platform that allows for a lot of freedom in terms of design and packaging, that allows for proper weight distribution, that allows the motors to be on the axles, so all of that combines to give you a car that feels very sophisticated, that feels evolved, it feels like finished in terms of being an electric car, and it does not, like I said, feel like a stopgap.
That's amazing. Personally, I have not driven the car as yet. Hopefully in the near future I would. Personally, for me, it's the styling bit that makes it be apart from the rest. It looks so cool. It's very stylish.
Yeah.
Yet it has that, fine balance of aggressive looks, those sharp lines, a little bit of curve. But, the styling just, gives me a head-turning moment, to be honest.
It is an absolute head-turner on the road. I remember we were driving this car in Delhi around Auto Expo time, and everybody was just turning to look at us. Everybody.
Lucky you.
Yeah, because it just grabs eyeballs. And Kia's always been known for their design.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at any of their cars, it has that, that strike,
X-Factor.
that punch.
It has X Factor, the Seltos. It looks handsome, in that segment. It looks really good.
Yeah, even the EV9, the EV9, the EV5.
Yeah, even the Sonnet. The Sonnet is probably the hardest car to design because small cars, they're harder to design than big cars. But Kia's done a fine job. And the EV6, what I like about it the most is it looks like it's from the future. You want your electric car to look like it's from the future. You don't want an electric car that looks like everything else on the road. You're trying to make a statement there. You're trying to say, hey, I'm forward thinking. And the EV6 allows you to make that statement. It's so aggressive, so angular, such cool elements on it. And design-wise, when you think about it, like, because it's got that skateboard platform, it doesn't need a large frontal area. For the engine, it can have really short overhangs front and rear. The wheels are pushed out to the absolute ends of the car. The bonnet is not very high or tall. It's got a really nice, aggressive looking front end. It's very different in its proportions also. The sloping roofline without compromising space on the inside. So the fact that that platform gives the designer so much freedom has also ended up making it look so good. You spoke about the cuts and the creases. That's one aspect. That's the styling elements. But you look at the proportions. That's also phenomenal. And it's a big car. It doesn't look it, but that wheelbase is 2,900 millimeters. So that's the size of the car that you're looking at, even though it looks small. And that's the beauty of the design of it. They made it look compact while it being so big. Yeah?
So you mentioned about, not compromising on the inside. Coming to the inside part, how are the interiors? And, considering it's priced at rupees 70 lakh ex showroom, do the interiors give it that luxurious touch, or
I think so.
How about them?
So you think about what Kia EV6 has done. They've actually taken a leaf out of the luxury manufacturer's books, and that's no bad thing because those guys do it well. So the Kia EV6, it gets those twin screens, 12.3 inches, one for your instrument cluster, one for your infotainment. They look really cool. What really stands out to me about the EV6 is the sheer space on offer, because it's an EV platform, because it's a skateboard platform, you don't have a transmission tunnel. There's space
flat
in the center console. You've got a lot of space over there. In the back seat, you've got a lot of space over there, again, because it's a long wheelbase. It doesn't look like it's long, but it's a really long wheelbase. So you have good space in the back in terms of knee room, in terms of headroom. The only criticizing that I could do about it is the floor is too high,
Okay.
And that's because the batteries are on the floor.
Right.
So you don't have as much knee room as you would like, but it's a spacious car on the inside. It's a car that you can genuinely sit in the back seat off and be chauffeur driven. You can sit in the front seat and feel like you're in a really airy cabin. There's a lot of room. Because there's so much positive space in it.
Right. So you won't feel stuffy, we can say. You would feel comfortable, and there's a lot of breathing space for a passenger.
Absolutely.
But a very important question. Would you be the one being driven around or be the driver yourself?
100% be the driver. And that brings me back to the platform. Because again, that platform gives it so many inherent advantages. Firstly, it's got all-wheel drive. So it's got one motor on the front axle, one motor on the rear axle, which is great for traction. It's also great for acceleration.
I'm sure of that.
Yeah, you've got 226 bhp. With 350 Nm of torque. And when you think about what those numbers can do, it can take you from 0 to 100 in 5.2 seconds. 5.2 seconds. 5 seconds, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know?
Considering it's a family SUV.
Family SUV, which is pretty good.
My family would be scared hearing that.
Most families are. But it's quick. It feels quick. And because it's an electric car, that torque is instantaneous, the shove is instantaneous, and it sort of pushes you back into your seat, And that feeling can't be replicated by an ICE car without you having to spend like a ridiculous amount of money, So at that price point, to get that sort of performance, that butterfly in your tummy feeling, it's pretty cool. Yeah. And it's silent, obviously. It's really quiet. It's really refined. There's no vibrations. Obviously, electric motor, really well insulated in the cabin. So when you want to just kick back and relax, you can. When you want to drive it fast, you can. And handling-wise also, it's really good, Because the batteries are on the floor, because the weight is so low down, it actually handles well. Traditionally, the Koreans, we've always said they make soggy handling cars.
Yeah.
And they can't make a car that handles really well like the Europeans,
Yeah.
But I think that's changing. And cars like the Kia EV6, they demonstrate the direction that these Korean guys are taking. And it's a step in the right direction.
So from the changes coming to the changes here?
Changes 100% here, And you can see it across Kia's cars in lower segments as well. The Sonet, the Seltos, they're good handling cars.
Yeah.
And I think the Kia EV6 sits at the top of that. And it's just a nice car to drive. Every time I get into that car, I'm like, this is a nice place to be. This is a place that I don't mind spending a lot of time in. And we journalists spend so much time in so many cars that when you find a space that you enjoy being in, it's nice. It feels comfortable. And that really speaks highly of these cars, because that means they're doing something right.
Yeah, there's something being done right at the right place by the right people, by 100%. The looks of it. And with all that, you're making me, want to drive it sooner than later, and I want to get my hands on it pretty much soon.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal machine, and it's, you might be apprehensive of it at first because you're like, oh, Kia, so expensive, what's this on about? But you need to remember, this is a world-class car. This is
an award-winning car.
Yeah. This is an award-winning world-class car. It's won ICOTY Green Car of the Year. And if you see the competition that it had, it was no easy task. The sort of contenders that were there at ICOTY Green Car of the Year.
All the big guns.
Yeah. There were cars ranging from 8 lakhs, really affordable EVs, to 2.5 crores. It was the whole spectrum.
Yeah.
And for the Kia EV6 to stand up and neck and shoulders above the rest, that's pretty significant for Kia. And when you think about what the car is, what it represents, it's a global car. This is the same car. It's a CBU. This is the same car that you're going to buy in the UK. This is the same car that you're going to buy in Europe, in US, if you have to buy a Kia EV6 there. This is legit a world-class car. It's not some watered-down version for India. Right. That makes it really significant.
So it's a as-is car coming straight out anywhere across the world. You drive it, it's exactly going to be the same
what I
car.
mean is, like, very often cars get watered down for India,
Yeah, because of our regulations and
cost also. People don't want to pay as much as they can pay, or people do pay abroad. So they water down the cars for India, bring down the cost. But Kia hasn't done that. They've delivered a world-class car with all-wheel drive, with all the features, with ADAS, with everything.
Right.
So
you're
getting
a full package.
You're getting a fully loaded car that's incredibly quick, that's capable, that's good to drive, it's comfortable, and
silent.
Something that I want to be seen in. If I get out of a Kia EV6, I feel damn cool because it looks damn cool.
Well, next time I'll call the Paps for you.
100%. Done.
Done.
Yep.
We have a deal.
Awesome. Well, that's it for this episode of the Evo India podcast about the Kia EV6. And I think, like we've established very clearly, that it is a deserving winner of the Green Car of the Year award at ICOTY. And ICOTY is coming up very soon again, so stay tuned for that.
And if you like this video, do share it with your friends, subscribe to the Evo India channel, and also stay tuned to all our video drops.
Yep, and like I said, this is not just a video, we've also got it on our podcast platform. So if you're listening on there, make sure you follow our podcast, subscribe to them, rate them. That really helps us out. Thank you so much for tuning in.
See you next time.